Now on 12, tragedy on the field. A 14-year-old football player collapses and dies at practice. We have the latest in a full report.
Plus, a fed-up family reaches out to us saying their apartment has literally crumbled around them over the years. What NYCHA is now saying.
And we'll take a live look outside at the roads and the rails with Gianna Gelosi.
And Daryl Green has your hyperlocal weather on the 2's forecast.
Good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here at News 12 The Bronx. I'm JT Fetch.
And I'm Linnea Batiste. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd. We have our top stories in just a minute, but first, a live look at traffic with Gianna Gelosi as you head out. Gianna?
Hey, good morning. So actually we have a couple problems on the subways now. So some trains with mechanical issues. The N and the Q going to be running a little bit slowly as a result. And so is the A. So two different lines, but both have the same problem. Now let's get a check of your roadways in the Bronx. So as for the Cross Bronx Bruckner, going to be slow. Of course, heading away from the interchange. This is an ordinary delay that we see every single day. So if you're used to driving at this time, you know exactly what to expect. But let's get a look at those drive times just to check in with that. So a 9-minute trip from Westchester Avenue over to the Deegan. So you're going about 23 miles per hour there. Now, if you're traveling out of the Bronx, the Throgs Neck, Whitestone, RFK, all doing just fine. So you're not going to have any problems there. Once you get into Queens, you are clear to go down from the Bronx and out of Brooklyn. So no problems there either. If you're traveling into lower Manhattan, your crossings are off to a good start. No issues, just a couple minutes to get into Manhattan there. But we do have an accident on the Belt Parkway, so right near Flatbush Avenue on that westbound side, causing delays in both directions. Eastbound delays most likely because of that rubbernecking. Alternate side is in effect. Let's take a look outside. This is the Whitestone Bridge. Queensbound moving away.
Well, good Wednesday morning, everybody. Daryl Green here with a look at your weather forecast, and things are going to be turning around on us really, really nicely. And we do have some clouds out there as forecast. We're going to lose those clouds later on. 73 degrees, and we're looking at 88% relative humidity, southwest winds at about 8 miles per hour. 74 degrees for Riverdale, 75 degrees for East Tremont, as well as Bedford Park, 76 degrees for Classen Point. West winds here, these locations 4-5 miles per hour. As we take a look at the wind gust out there, 17-mile-an-hour gust. So yeah, it's a little bit of a breeze that continues to be out there with us. Rainfall amounts through the overnight, either side of about 1/4 of an inch. A healthy amount of rainfall in about maybe 2 to 3 hours. As you can see, we're saying goodbye to the wet weather. Zooming out, you're going to notice a quieter weather pattern that will be with us. Our winds will eventually come in from a northerly direction. It's a drier air mass that will be with us. And as we take a look at the next 12 hours, what you'll need to know, still going to have some clouds out there, but those clouds will be eroding away. Temperatures climb into the low and maybe the middle 80s, and eventually our winds coming in from a northwesterly direction. Tonight, you're going to love the weather that's out there. We're going to drop it into the 60s, and our skies are going to be pretty clear. We'll take a look at the hyperlocal 7-day forecast later in this half hour. You are watching News 12. Good Wednesday morning to you.
Daryl, thanks to you as well. Switching gears now, a 14-year-old Bronx boy practicing for his dream job ends in tragedy on the football field yesterday.
And police tell us the teenager went into cardiac arrest during his first football practice at Mount St. Michael Academy and later died at the hospital.
News 12 The Bronx reporter John Diaz joins us now. He's outside the school on Murdoch Avenue where grief counseling will be made available to students today. John?
Yeah, good morning to you both, and just a tragic story to report here today. Now, the family here, a 14-year-old Dominic Bess, they tell us that he was doing what he just loved to do, and he died while doing that, while playing football. They tell us, though, that his dream was to one day become a professional football player. Go ahead now, though, and take a look here at this photo. This is a picture here of this 14-year-old boy before he started the new school year here at Mount St. Michael Academy on a scholarship. He was practicing on the football team, thrilled to be a part of all of this. Now, just yesterday, it was actually Dominic's first practice, and we were told that he was running drills when he went into cardiac arrest and fell to the ground. School staff tried to resuscitate him. When paramedics arrived, they then rushed him to the hospital, but there was nothing doctors can do. He was pronounced dead. Now, we are still waiting to hear back from the medical examiner's office about the exact cause of death. School administrators say, though, that this was not a contact drill, and a source tells us that the practice was held at 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday, so before that heat advisory came into effect at noon. Still, though, some of his family members are questioning if the heat may have been an impact or if Bess was pushed a little too hard.
It's a humid morning, and if it's an outdoor court, it's still a little hot. So maybe that could contribute to it, because they said he mentioned that he was a little tired, and they said one more lap, and that was it.
Again, we are still waiting to hear back from the medical examiner's office about the autopsy results. Of course, when those do become available to us, we will let you all know. But for now, that is the latest here in Wakefield. John Diaz, News 12, The Bronx.
All right, John, thank you so much for that.
All right, we're going to go to crime news now. The hunt is on for a debit card thief. He's accused of using someone's debit card number to withdraw money at a Citibank ATM on Hunts Point Avenue back on March 31st.
And police are also investigating after a mausoleum at Woodlawn Cemetery is vandalized. Cops responded to the scene yesterday afternoon. They say 6 caskets were taken out and left on the floor. Right now, there are no arrests.
Around the city, terrifying moments for a woman in Manhattan. Police say she was shoved onto the subway tracks. It all happened at the F&M station in the East Village around 9 last night. Good Samaritans came to her aid and helped her back onto the platform. She was taken to an area hospital with a gash in her head. The suspect did run off. He's said to be in his 20s. So if you have any information that can help police, give the Crime Stoppers hotline a call at 1-800-577-TIPS.
A Bronx man is arrested and charged with assaulting a child. Adrian Stevens is accused of getting into a dispute with a 16-year-old boy at the Baychester Avenue number 5 subway station back on July 3rd. Police say Stevens punched and shoved the victim as he was trying to walk away. And Cassandra Smain is charged with identity theft after police say she tried to cash a forged check at a bank upstate. That happened back in May of last year.
14 Bronxites now facing drug charges for their part in an operation that spanned across the borough and parts of the Northeast. Prosecutors say they sold heroin, cocaine, and crack during the last year. They also say the suspects supplied drugs to other trafficking organizations. The suspects face a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. One person sent to the hospital after a police car crashes into a pole on Webster Avenue yesterday afternoon. Right now, it's actually unclear how the accident happened. You can see from cell phone video here. We're told the person hurt is not a police officer, luckily only has minor injuries.
A Bronx family living in the McKinley houses for about 15 years says in the past few years, the apartment has started to crumble around them. Now they say News 12 is their last resort as they try to get help. We got to look inside their home. Plaster coming off the walls, mold in the bathroom and closets, holes mice have created around the kitchen and bathroom, and other problems. They say they've requested repairs from NYCHA and workers just don't show up.
You go home, you don't want to go into your bathroom and take a shower and the wall is coming off or can even fall on you. Like, it's ridiculous. It's inhumane, and no one should have to live like that.
I haven't heard no response from anybody. So I'm tired. Now it's enough. Now it's enough. Now the gloves go on.
Well, we reached out to NYCHA about this, and a spokesperson tells us in part, this is absolutely unacceptable, and we are working urgently to make sure this resident has a safe, clean place to call home.
Happening today, Metro North will be holding a public hearing. The rail service inviting customers to comment on a plan to permanently increase service at the Melrose and Tremont stations here in the Bronx as part of an effort to build ridership and provide Bronx residents with more convenient travel options. The hearing will be held at 5 p.m. at the agency's headquarters. That is down in Lower Manhattan.
$700 million is on the line tonight in the Powerball drawing. No one has hit all 6 numbers since early June, making tonight's prize the second largest ever in U.S. history. The biggest jackpot, $1.6 billion, was claimed in January 2016. We have to try again.
We have to try again.
That's a lot of money.
And remember that big one last year, though.
Yes.
It makes me feel a little bit better that 3 people won, so it's not as much. It's not like one person's a billionaire, so that makes you feel better.
But I want to be that one person.
I know. We'll split it with the whole newsroom.
I'll do it.
Mark my words. It's on tape.
I am. I'm marking it.
Daryl Green is clapping.
He is. I'm Linnea Batiste. You're watching News 12 The Bronx.
And I'm JT Fetch, and I shouldn't have said that. We're as local news gets. Coming up, we talk about making sure your child's eyes are healthy for the upcoming school year.
Plus, in our Boogie Down Bites report, we take a look at one Italian restaurant that offers food, family, and fun.
And we talk Trump. The president once again puts illegal immigration back at the forefront. That and more coming up.
Mott Haven, you're watching News 12 The Bronx, as local news gets.